Hi, this is Janine Rusan. Welcome to this edition of my podcast, which I have titled, Even If You Bogey the Last Hole, Just Get Ready for Your Next Chance. So, good day to everyone. This podcast is Own Your Own Authentic Power. We're coming out of a tough winter, and spring is heating up. We've had some up and down days. Some days were bitter cold, followed by a day of 70-degree temperatures, and then a smattering of snow. And then 2 days later, we had brutal storms. We just really didn't know what to expect. And that's just been the weather. That says nothing about the day to day life of the political storms, the not knowing what was happening with the job market, grants being ripped away, offices that were open one day and inexplicably closed the next day, the jaw-dropping stock market, which even if you weren't directly investing, your life may have had some dependence on it because of an IRA or 401k or savings, or just having a home that you want to appreciate. Turning on the news, whether online or on your television, has just been crazy. We are setting ourselves up for needing a swig of Pepto Bismol just getting up each day. Yikes, yikes. This is life. As Prince said, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. So, yes, life is a journey. We're all in it together, searching for a way to manage the twists and turns of it. Life has challenges and it drives us crazy. And sometimes we don't know what's coming. Excuse me. And even when we see what's coming, we still need each other to get through it. Adjusting, tweaking, making a way to survive. I think that's a good approach to consider given the life situations right now. We always must assess the current situation. No matter how much we might wish for something different, it is what it is, and it might change in an hour or a day. What I've learned over time is to be ready, be resilient, and know what to pay attention to. And it's not the shiny object or the momentary raindrops. It's seeing through the onslaught of everything and focusing on what matters, then determining your action. And sometimes it means staying inside until things pass over or get better. Things will change. They always do. Put on your coat or put on your jacket when it rains. Make sure that whatever you put on is removable, because as sure as the sun sets every day, there will be another day. You've heard the saying, you can't boil the ocean. Well, that's good advice for handling life as it comes to you. Life and situations can come in a fast fury and seemingly leave us reeling, barely having time to know which way to turn, to either avoid or minimize the hits, or to tackle and slay the barrage coming toward us. I was texting with a friend recently after he sent an article of an opinion guest essay in the New York Times by James Carville. And while I won't get into the entirety of it, I will refer to a term that was mentioned in the article that suggested a prescription for right now. The Army has a term, tactical pause. He described it as a vision move. With a tactical pause, you get out of the hour-to-hour, day-to-day combat where one side, ours, is largely playing defense and struggling to defend politically charged positions, like explaining DEI or persuading voters to care about foreign aid and what has happened to the USAID programs that have literally yanked food and medicine out of starving children across the world. Instead, pause and take time to regroup, look forward, and make decisions about where we want to get over the next 2 years. So that's where I am at this moment, and where I agree with Carvel. Let's just take a minute. The winds will blow, so hold on. Life is by season, and it's cyclical. As he says, you won't win or achieve anything meaningful going toe to toe. In previous podcasts, I've mentioned that rest is resistance. So really, just wait a minute. When someone who believes they are superior to you is exploiting others' ignorance, their waves and waves of stupidity and ignorance are like the ocean, and we can't boil the ocean. Recently, I found some notes that I had made a few years ago where I wrote, "People love judging other people's drama." So for now, instead of getting embroiled in the drama of the moment, use your energy and time for you and your community. Don't get sucked into the drama. Now, that doesn't mean turn a blind eye to what is happening. We must be informed. Yet being informed doesn't have to translate into becoming a victim to what we truly can't control. Carvel also said, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is retreat on the immediate battlefield and advance in another direction. Give them all the rope they need to hang themselves and show how incapable they are and how damaging their actions are. We need neither to bail out the waters rising in the broken boat they are steering, nor shrink from who we are. When other people are focused on creating drama to distract us, just wait a minute. Breathe in and let them flail about. It really can be a wiser and calmer response. So I'm in this tactical pause, and at the same time, I'm making room in my life for life. Every day, I am blessed to wake up and know that I didn't have to do anything special to wake up. Life did that. The universe and the spirit granted me life, and it is up to me to grab it for all it is meant to be without latching on to someone else's drama. Just like the weather of the day, I can't make the weather be what I want it to be. I have to see what the weather is going to be and then put on the appropriate clothing for it. Now, that does mean figuring out what the weather is and adjusting to it. So here's what I suggest we do right now. Be informed, fully informed. For the first few months after the results of the election came in, I didn't watch the news. I literally had to take care of myself. I had to grieve. I had to find the solace to accept what I could not change. Now, frankly, I'll tell you, I also didn't believe it. The truth of the matter is I still don't believe that it occurred without some manipulation. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. So I rested. I drank a lot of tea. I read fun books. I watched fun movies. I went on walks. I enjoyed time with family, especially the grandkids, because they didn't care about any of that stuff happening in the world. They just wanted love and laughter. Nowadays, I still limit my news watching because I'm not going to let myself fall into anger. I am, though, going to be informed. so I get the information that is necessary to be in the know. Lord have mercy. The United States of America has gone to hell in a handbasket, and the basket is about to burst. Prince's song was titled, excuse me, Let's Go Crazy. So that apparently is what the Republicans have decided to do. As I said, here I was sipping my tea, minding my own business, and lo and behold, the tea from China has had tariffs slapped on it, along with a bunch of other things. Lizzo wore a shirt during her appearance recently on Saturday Night Live that said Tariffied, spelled Tarriffied. This is where we are. Now, the handbasket was probably made in China, and my tea is imported from China, as well as most of the parts for 80% of the cars in the country. So it's crazy. A girl can't even just mind her own business sipping tea anymore. Oh, I have invested money in the stock market, so it's scary seeing the lows being achieved there and the gibberish coming out of the mouths of this so-called administration and his cronies. I'm only going to say this once. Tariffs are taxes, generally passed on almost exclusively to the consumer. So no, this isn't going to help egg prices go down. And no, it isn't going to help farmers or other manufacturers who sell their goods to other countries and had set their prices many months ago. Tariffs are bad for the U.S. economy, and add to that the instability of the chaotic way they are willy-nilly being implemented is off the charts nuts. Okay, I got that out of my system. I won't go on and on. Y'all know, and honestly, they know too. They're just lying about it. So what are we to do? Breathe. Breathe deep. And try real hard not to panic. So recently, I conducted an activity as part of a leadership development training. The activity was about traits and talents for effective leaders. Utilizing some of those traits and talents for effective leadership can get us through these times we are in right now. Here's a few to consider. Number 1, trait and talent for a leader, self-motivated. Motivated leaders desire to achieve above and beyond expectations. This comes from their passion, pride, and desire to become better and their motivation to do things better than everyone else. For the moment we're in, be self-motivated to survive and thrive. As Maya Angelou said, nothing will work unless you do. No matter what else is happening, even if you have lost your job because of illegal actions by Doge or Doggy, like I like to call it, or because a grant wasn't funded, get up the next day and put on clothes. Open a window to see the day. Walk outside and breathe in the air. Sip water or make a cup of tea. And if you're out of tea, drink hot water and let that soothe you and warm your inners. Find something to motivate you to keep going. Number 2, confidence. Sometimes we think that we must have something to be confident, but I believe it is a practice we can acquire. We can learn it. Confidence must be with your inner perception of your ability to fulfill a particular role or do a task, and it is developed based on what you think of yourself as well as built upon your experiences during your life. So to build your confidence, be open to new experiences, and be willing to fail. Find strength to push the limits of what you are capable of. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop looking fear in the face." Third, optimism and positivity. Recently, Kamala Harris said that courage is contagious. And I think that optimism and positivity are also contagious. When you are optimistic and feel positive about something, it encourages others around you to feel that way too. It can really catch on. Leaders face challenges with energy, optimism, and positivity. They start a task believing it can be done. And even if it fails, they know that something will be learned from the effort. So failure, even failure, is not without a lesson. Fourth, perspective. It's truly all about perspective. Put things in perspective and use perspective. See things from many different perspectives. Sometimes the best solution is right in front of us, but we are too close to see it. Leaders know how to remove themselves from a situation and observe it from multiple perspectives with an open mind. If you just look at it from another angle, you may see the answer was there all along, literally staring you in the face. So I started out titling this podcast, "Even If You Miss the Shot, Even If You Bogey, Get Ready for the Next one." When I talk about perspective, think of golf. One of the knacks that golfers utilize when they're putting on the green is they walk all around the surface of the putting green to see the ball from multiple angles. They see the various undulations on the green. They go and they look at the ball, where the ball is placed, from the front, from the back, from the sides. They bend down and they look at the ball from the bare surface so they can envision how it will roll once it is hit. That provides valuable insight. When you have that much information before you tackle a situation, you are truly packed with perspective when you finally walk up with your putter and make that stroke. 5. The last trait I offer you is the ability to pivot. The world is changing quickly, and it will continue to do so. Great leaders can recognize the change is constantly occurring and guide themselves and the people around them accordingly. They realize that what can go wrong just might go wrong. They face life with strength and determination, especially when things get difficult. When most people give in, that's the exact moment you need to push through and overcome diversity. So I wrap this podcast with a quote from a French philosopher who fought against the Nazi regime, Simone Weil. She said, "We must not wish for the disappearance of our troubles, but for the grace to transform them." I thank you for listening. Always own your own power, and you will win in all.